Howdy everyone, and welcome to the Tank and Spank Quick Kick Guide to Algeth'ar Academy. Our goal with these guides is going to be to teach you the things you need to know to be successful in Mythic Plus and help you carry your group as a tank. We're going to go through the most important kicks, stops, and boss abilities to get you through the dungeon. The first thing that you'll do when the key starts is you need to pick a Dragonflight recruiter to receive a buff from. You jump down from the spawn point, talk to the recruiter that provides the buff that you want. Going clockwise from where you jump down, there's Haste, Mastery, Healing Received, Versatility, and Critical Strike. After talking to the appropriate recruiter, you'll receive a buff which persists through death and lasts for the rest of the dungeon.
You can then head left to Vexamus or straight ahead to the Overgrown Ancient. Start with whichever of the two you want to lust on, probably Overgrown Ancient. In the encounter area, you'll have to fight 3 large AoE packs that contain 1 Vile Lasher and about 10 Hungry Lashers each. The Vile Lashers just put large green circles on the ground that disorient you if you get hit, but if your group is good at dodging, you can pull all of these together. Unfortunately, you also have to pull around 2 patrols of aggravated skitterflies. These cast Agitation, which grants them a stacking enrage, increasing their damage. They also jump to random party members and do a large amount of damage, especially at high stacks. Be careful when pulling these packs and soothe on cooldown if you have one. It is possible to skip one of these packs and pull the boss into the corner if you choose to. The boss will activate when all 3 of the Vile Lashers are dead.
The Overgrown Ancient himself is a funnel class's dream. The boss will occasionally cast Germinate, which spawns about 20 dormant Hungry Lashers. These spawn under players' feet, so every player should really be stacking up underneath the boss and then moving out of the swirlies as they spawn. The boss will cast this ability twice before he reaches 100 energy. At 100 energy, he casts Burst Forth, which does a ton of AoE damage and causes any still alive Lashers to come out of the ground and start attacking with a stacking poison debuff. You should be able to kill all the Lashers from the first Germinate, but Burst Forth goes out right after he spawns the second one, so you won't be able to kill the second group, and you'll have to deal with the 20 adds. This is the most dangerous part of the fight for the tank, so you're probably going to use your biggest defensive here. The Overgrown Ancient also rips a branch off and throws it at a player, spawning another ad, an Ancient Branch. This ad casts Healing Touch, which needs to be interrupted, and when the ad gets thrown out, everyone gets a stacking bleed that hits pretty hard. However, when the ad dies, it drops a circle on the ground called Abundance. If you stand in this circle, it clears your bleed and heals you to full. It will also heal the boss and any ads that are in there though, so you want to make sure to pull the boss and the ads out and make sure that you're standing in the circle. For tanks, he also casts Bark Breaker, which is a physical damage nuke that increases your physical damage taken by 100% for 9 seconds.
You can then head either to Crawth or backtrack to Vexamus, whichever one you don't intend to lust on. We'd recommend Vexamus next. On the way to Vexamus, you'll find a handful of different elementals and weapons. There are a lot of casts that can be interrupted, but only a couple that really need to be. Spellbound Scepters are the top priority in any pull they're in. They cast Mystic Blast, which is a massive AoE nuke if it doesn't get kicked. They also cast Arcane Rain, which can be stopped. It adds lots of swirlies to the ground to dodge that you'd rather not deal with. You'll also fight packs of Arcane Forgers with a large Arcane Ravager. The Arcane Ravager is the dangerous one here. It'll leap to a party member, then immediately turn back towards the tank and cast a big frontal. As long as everyone moves out of the frontal, Rift Breath, you can pull big here. When you get to Vexamus' platform, there are 3 packs. The pack in the back has a Scepter, which still has the mandatory kicks, and all 3 packs have an unruly textbook. These textbooks cast and then channel Monotonous Lecture. The channel sleeps a party member for 8 seconds or until interrupted. The cast has a 2-second cast during which it can be interrupted, then an 8-second channel during which it can be interrupted or stopped. If it's stopped during the 2-second cast, the book will recast though. If your group is well organized and gets all the kicks, you can group this up. Otherwise, it's safer to do them 1 pack at a time.
During your fight with Vexamus, Professor Max Dormu will spawn a group of 5 orbs that start moving towards Vexamus. If they reach him, the condescending professor will mock you, and Vexamus will gain 20 energy and explode with damage. If players soak the orb, they take a chunk of damage and receive a debuff that increases their damage taken from the orbs for 20 seconds. The debuff can be dispelled, so the tank's going to want to grab 2, 3, maybe even more, as long as Vexamus isn't in the middle of doing his frontal cone so you're not swinging the boss around trying to kill your party with it. Other than the orbs, it's more of a watch your feet kind of fight, and then you pop a defensive when the boss reaches 100 energy and he casts an AoE nuke on the party. On the way to the next boss, you'll jump across a platform and fight a Guardian Sentry. He summons tornadoes that you need to avoid because they stun, and casts an ability called Expel Intruders, which is a large circle around him that knocks anyone back, and can knock you off the platform and kill you that way. This can be line-of-sighted around the pillar, or you can actually just get knocked back into the pillar. Once you're on Crawth's platform, you'll fight 3 waves of eagles. The Alpha Eagle casts a frontal that everyone needs to dodge, as well as an ability called Call of the Flock, which needs to be kicked.
When fighting Crawth herself, there are 2 goals you can throw balls in. When you throw 3 balls into a goal, it activates. When you activate the fire goal, you now have to dodge large balls of fire falling from the sky, but Crawth is stunned and takes 75% extra damage for 12 seconds. When you activate the wind goal, you now get pushed back by wind, but she spawns 3 orbs. Players that pick up the orbs are immune to the pushback and gain 40% haste and 50% movement speed for 20 seconds. It's also possible to activate both goals at the same time with a little bit of patience. You start off with 5 balls and can throw 2 in each goal, but don't throw a 3rd ball in either goal. After a short time, Crawth will spawn 5 more balls, throw a ball in the wind goal, collect your orbs, then throw one in the fire goal, lust and burn. This may not be possible in significantly higher keys though, because one of Crawth's other abilities, Deafening Screech, does more damage based on the number of stacks it has. It gains a stack each time the boss uses the ability, and the stacks are reset to 0 when you activate a goal. The Deafening Screech can also silence you if you're casting when it goes off. In less organized groups or on high keys, you'll probably want to do the fire goal, then lust and burn. Crawth also turns to a random player and casts a frontal, overpowered gust, that everyone needs to move out of. And tanks deal with Savage Peck, which is a physical damage tank buster with a 10-second dot.
After you kill each of those 3 bosses, you can move towards the final boss. On the way, you'll fight several Algeth'ar Echo Knights that cast a whirlwind. The whirlwind can be stopped after the cast goes off and the channel begins. The ethereal restorers in this group put a shield on themselves that's purgeable. Then it's on to kill the Echo of the Headmaster Doragosa. The major mechanic here is that any time the boss hits someone in the party with a spell, they gain a stack of overwhelming power. When a player reaches 4 stacks, they drop an arcane rift, hopefully near the outside of the room. The rifts spawn orbs for the rest of the fight that you have to dodge, otherwise you get a stack of the overwhelming power and drop another rift. If people get hit by too many extra abilities, the room will fill up quickly. Some of the boss's abilities, like Arcane Bomb, can't be avoided, but some, like Power Vacuum, where the boss sucks everyone in and does AoE damage in a circle, or his Astral Breath, needs to be dodged. As long as your group's good at dodging, you shouldn't have any issues killing the boss. That's all we've got for Algeth'ar Academy, and good luck pushing keys.